Okay, so in this video, I want you to think about something that maybe you haven't given thought to before, and that is giving yourself permission to heal. And why do we need to focus on that specifically? I will tell you the reason is that in the time that I've worked in my practice with women who've been hurt, there are 1,000 reasons that women have for not healing, for not doing the healing work. It could be that they're afraid to experience the emotions. It could be that the experience and the process is too overwhelming. But you know what else it could be? It could be that someone or something in your life is discouraging it. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you've got too much going on and too many responsibilities because you've been unable to say no to this point in your life. Or maybe someone in your life told you or tells you that taking the time that it takes and having the focus on your inner working long enough to create healing for yourself is selfish. Let me just tell you right now that most of the time, those of us who have things that we need to heal in ourselves have had someone from our past not give us permission to do the healing. If you think about it, even at the very basic level, when someone tells you it's not okay to cry, that's telling you to shut down something that is integral to the process of healing trauma. So maybe you've never had anyone stand up for you and say it's okay to take a pause. So let me do that for you right now and give you permission to give yourself permission to focus on yourself in a way that will lead to healing. If you've gotten messages like it's selfish to focus on yourself, I want you to think about what that costs. I want you to start thinking about what does it cost for you to have things be the same? I want you to write down what have been the most painful points about being in the same position over and over. Have you lost time? Have you spent too much time in pain? Have you not been enjoying your life? And is all of this happening because someone else says it's not okay to stop and give back to you? So, how do you give yourself permission to heal? I want you to think about who it is that would discourage your healing. Think about their beliefs. Think about how it benefited them for you not to do the work for you to heal. What's the context? Why would that other person see benefit from you not doing the work you need to? I want you to make a list of the costs: loss of sleep, your health, quality of relationships, all the things that you're giving up because you're not saying yes to you. Make a list of those costs and recognize that this work does take time. It's often difficult and it takes a lot of courage. So you need to be able to remember your reasons and motivation for doing it. The thing I want you to think about here is that staying in pain is often harder than healing it, which is usually the opposite of what people expect. But the reason why is because shutting yourself down and dealing with the pain and just sort of tolerating it is like really holding your breath indefinitely. As long as you carry your pain, then each time you're triggered again or have a new negative experience, it adds to the pain. And that adding to the pain further takes away your energy from being able to be in the here and now because it takes energy to hold that stuff in. You're already carrying a lot on your shoulders, and there's a lot of pressure in your body. One way to look at it is like this. I don't know if you understand what a pressure cooker is, but there's something in physics called the law of conservation of energy. And that law says that nothing
is created or disappears. So, for example, if you put a pot of water on the stove to boil and walk away and forget about it, when you come back, the water will be all gone, but it won't have disappeared, it will have changed. So the energy didn't disappear, it changed. The same is true of the energy that is in your body because of the trauma you've been through. The longer you carry it, the more pressure you feel internally because holding it in means that it's going to keep putting pressure on you the same way pressure cookers increase pressure on the inside as they have heat. That means that you're also more likely to experience health issues, and that as this internal pressure builds, that you're also more likely to have habits and behaviors that you really don't like. Those behaviors that actually you want to avoid, like overeating or self-sabotaging, yelling at your kids, because that's the only way to handle or to take a little bit of the buildup of pressure off is to act it out in some kind of way, scream and yell or cry, overeat, self sabotage in other ways. So, if you give yourself permission to heal, once you do that, you can start to reverse that process and release the pressure that you're carrying around inside of your body instead of trying to carry it and hold it and experiencing the consequences from trying to carry pressure indefinitely. The other thing I want you to know is that the homework for this lesson is going to include writing a letter that you write to anyone who would discourage you from healing, from not giving yourself permission. Why is that important? It's, it's important because you want to replace their voice in your head with your own affirming voice. And writing a letter about it and affirming your own experience and honoring what you know that you need helps to do that. It'll also help you to address the permission if advocating for yourself is triggering for you. So, if advocating for yourself is a trigger as you move forward into the Trauma Erase Method Academy, then this letter that you write will actually help you as you start to look at erasing the trigger of advocating for yourself. And then I want to give you a word of caution about confrontation. So, many trauma survivors fantasize that the person or people who mistreated them would respond to a confrontation with an apology or some form of repayment for the harm that was done to them. And I just want to let you know that thinking this way often leads to disappointment because the person that you confront probably hasn't changed much from the time that they benefited from harming you. So it's important to remember this. Even I have thoughts about telling people that I've separated myself from, why I separated myself. But when I think it through, I realize that it isn't likely to have any positive impact because those people are still the same. So I really want to caution you against the temptation to confront someone with the letter that you're going to write in your homework. Remember, you're working on your own healing. You have to remember that the people who hurt you are likely to be the last people that would help you in your healing process.
So, once again, click on the download below. It will guide you through the process of helping you get really clear on why you need to give yourself permission right now to start this work today.